Hello friends. Today we will discuss about one of the most important dynasty, the Gurjar Pratiharas. In the recent time, we have observed that the UPSC has started asking questions on the lesser known kingdoms. That is why Gurjar Pratiharas are extremely important. First of all, we will see the map where they were situated. So Gurjar Pratiharas were nearby the northern plains. You can see that they are situated near the regions of Rajasthan and Gujarat. And what is happening is there is a constant tussle between Gurjar Pratiharas, Rashtrakutas, as well as Palas. So there will be a kind of tripartite struggle that will happen between all of them for the fight of Kannauj. Kannauj is a very prosperous region and will be very important. All the three kingdoms would want to capture Kannauj, and there will be an ongoing struggle. So first of all, we will introduce about the dynasty. So the early history of Gujar Pratiharas is shrouded because there are different stories about their where they had came. So there are different origin stories. Some believe that they migrated from Central Asia after the Gupta period. Okay. Now we will start with the first king, one of the most important king who founded this dynasty. His name was Nagabhata I. He was the one who defeated Muslims coming from the Arab region. Then Vatsa Raja was one of the most important king because he was the one who expanded the empire. His expansion was he followed a very aggressive expansionist policy, and that led to a series of conflicts with the Pala kings of Bengal. He defeated one of the famous kings of Pala, Dharampala, expanding the Gurjar Pratihara Empire. So Pala kings were nearby the Bengal region, Rashtrakutas were near the Deccan region. However, Vatsa Raja was defeated by the Rashtrakuta ruler Dhruva around 880. Now, the another important king is Nagabhata II. He was the one who reclaimed the Kannauj. Initially, he was defeated by the Rashtrakuta ruler Govinda III. However, he recovered Malwa. He later recovered Malwa from the Rashtrakutas and also conquered the Kannauj and the Indo-Gangetic plain. He also checked the Muslim advances from the west, from the Arab region. Uh, Bhoja one was one of the very important and very well-known king, and we can expect a question from this king and his works. He was the one who restored the dynasty. He followed an expansionist policy. He defeated Krishna II and captured Malwa and Gujarat. Bhoja adopted the title of Adi Varaha and was a devotee of Vishnu. He is also known by other names like Mihir Bhoja, Prabhasa. His architectural legacy is very well known. He established the Telika Mandir in Gwalior, a classic example of Gurjar Pratihara Gopagiri architecture, and it is attributed to Bhoja, Mihir Bhoja. Another important king is Mahendrapala I. He was the patron of the art. During his time period, there was a lot of development in art and architecture. His court was adorned by one of the famous scholar Rajashekhara. He was also known by the titles like Mahendra Yudha, Nirbhaya Narendra, reflecting his military might and fearless nature as well. Mahendra Palavan kept the vast Gurjar Pratihara Empire intact and even extended its boundaries. What were the architectural marvels that were developed during Gurjar Pratiharas? One important architectural marvel is Mahavira Jain Temple. The Mahavira Jain Temple is in Osian, Rajasthan. It is an important pilgrimage site and the oldest surviving Jain temple in Western India. Second is Bateshwar Hindu Temple. This is a group of nearly 200 sandstone Hindu temples in Madhya Pradesh and were built in the early Gurjara Pratihara style. The third one is Baroli temples. The complex of 8 temples in Baroli, Rajasthan is another example of Gurjar Pratihara architecture though later it was destroyed by Aurangzeb. What were the literary contribution? So Rajasekhara, as I had told, that he was one of the renowned scholars of his time, the guru of Mahendra Palavan. He made significant contributions to Indian literature. Uh, there are Suleiman's account as well. The Arab historian Suleiman provided valuable insights into the wealth, military might, and security of the Gurjar Pratiharas kingdom under Mihir Bhoj. The third is coinage. The coins issued by Bhoja featured the boar avatar of Vishnu, and solar symbols also reflect the dynasty's cultural legacy. So, if we see the Gurjar Pratihara kingdom, it has significantly contributed in the development of art and architecture, as well as there is a literary contribution. And the Gurjar Pratihara dynasty holds an important position during the medieval period when the kingdoms in India became fragmented. So, in the northern part of India, Gujar Pratihara was a formidable force, constantly tussling with the Sena rulers as well as the Rashtrakutas. Sometimes they were winning, sometimes they were losing. Some or other kings were coming who were having more military might. They were capturing the prosperous Kannauj. And if you remember, before these three kingdoms, there was Harsha of Kannauj, Thaneshwar kingdom. You have to remember, I had discussed all these in post Gupta rulers. Go and watch that video, it will help you to connect the dots. This is one of the most important topic for this year examination. So do watch this, and if you want to note down some important things, note down in A4 size paper. So thank you very much, take care, best. So in this lecture we will discuss about Imperial Cholas. The Chola dynasty rose to the prominence from the earlier three important kingdoms that we had discussed: Chola, Chera, Pandyas. Imperial Cholas are different from the Cholas of the earlier time. Now, Imperial Cholas were called imperial because their territory was not only situated in the India, in the present day Tamil Nadu, but it went till the Malay Peninsula. Malay Peninsula is nearby Singapore, Malaysia, that region, and the present day Sri Lanka. Now, who founded the Chola Empire? So, it was Vijayalaya who founded the Chola Empire, who in 8th century seized control of the Tanjore kingdom and led the groundwork for the Cholas' rise to power. Vijayalaya's victory over the Pallavas marked the beginning of the Cholas' ascent to imperial status. Then one of the most important kingdom of Imperial Chola was Rajendra Chola. So the pinnacle of Chola Empire came under the reign of Rajendra Chola, who famously led his armies to the bank of the Ganges, earning him the name Victor of the Ganges. And there was a temple which was constructed, which was known as Kangai Kond Cholpuram. Rajendra's conquest cemented the Chola status as the prominent power in South India during the 11th century. Then Aditya I expanded it further. Vijayalaya's successor Aditya I expanded the dynasty and hold on the region by defeating the Pandyan kings and the Vadumbas, establishing Chola's dominance over the former Pallava territories. What was the administration and governance of the Chola Empire? So though it had a kind of centralized governance system as well, with a village level autonomy, and there was a lot of patronage for the art as well. So the Cholas were known for their efficient and centralized system of governance, which brought the entire southern region under a single unified administration. The empire was divided into provinces known as mandalams, each overseen by a governor appointed by the king. In village, despite the Chola centralized control, the empire's administrative structure allowed for a high degree of local autonomy. Each village acted as a self-governing unit with its own elected councils responsible for maintaining order and overseeing community affairs. Um, they were the great patrons of art. The Chola rulers were ardent supporter of the art, investing heavily in the construction of grand temples, sculptures, and cultural institutions. This patronage helped to cement the Cholas' legacy as one of the most culturally significant dynasties in the history of southern India. Now, what is the architectural legacy of the Cholas? The one of the most important legacy of Cholas is the Brihadeshwara temple. One of the most iconic examples of Chola architecture, the Brihadeshwara temple in Tanjore, is towering, is awe-inspiring. That exemplifies the grandeur and technical prowess of the Chola builders. It was completed in 1010 AD. The temple's massive granite tower and intricate carving have made it a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And the second is the Rajarajeshwara Temple, another masterpiece of Chola architecture. The Rajarajeshwara Temple in Gangaikon Cholpuram was commissioned by the great Rajendra Chola. This temple ornate intricate carvings and impressive scale make it a true testament to the Cholas architectural genius. One of the hallmark of Cholas architecture was its grandeur. uh, the Rajaraja Chola and Rajendra Chola both were one of the mightiest of empire ever adorned the southern India, and one of the most famous sculpture of Imperial Chola time is Nataraj. The Cholas were also renowned for their exceptional bronze sculpture. The iconic Nataraj sculpture depicting the Lord Shiva in a dynamic dance pose is perhaps the most famous example of Chola bronze craftsmanship. The spread of Chola influence. So there was conquest in the Sri Lanka, and expedition were held into the Southeast Asian countries as well, and there could be influence of Tamil culture still you can observe in the Sri Lanka as well as in Singapore as well as in the Malaysia. That is because of the Imperial Cholas. And now we will talk a bit about Nataraj. So the Nataraj or the Lord of the Dance is one of the most iconic and recognizable sculptures to emerge from the Chola period. It shows Lord Shiva in a dynamic, energetic pose, symbolizing the eternal cycle of creation, preservation, and destruction. And they are renowned for their technical virtuosity because they are intricate. They have been made like a masterpiece, and it's very difficult to make them. They are one of the finest example of sculpture creation, and it has a high grade of spiritual significance as well. The Nataraj sculpture of Lord Shiva. Why the decline of the Chola Empire? Because of there was succession struggles as well. There were foreign invasions as well, and the Pandyans' power was also increasing. Hoysala was also started dominating, and despite their eventual downfall, the Cholas left an indelible mark on the history and the culture of South India. So let's summarize their influence that they had. So architecture is one of the influence. Brihadeshwara and Rajarajeshwara temple, the whole Tanjore. Then sculpture, the Nataraj sculpture, administrative system, having a kind of village governance system was one of the hallmark, and was one of the very different kind of thing, which made them which made their popularity even further higher, because they had not only the significance in art and architecture but also socio-political, and they provided a lot of patronage to the scholars who were adorning the courts, as well as the Tamil language became even more richer during the period of Imperial Cholas. So this was the lecture. Hopefully it will help you. Thank you very much. Take care. Best wishes. In this lecture, we will study about Chalukya Empire. This is an important topic for Prelims 2024. Let's begin. So Chalukya Empire, if you will see the map, Chalukya Empire is nearby the Deccan region, and Pallavas is adjacent to Chalukya Empire. You should always study the map to have a fair idea where a particular kingdom or empire is located and which time period it is located, who are the contemporary of that empire. So at that time period when Chalukya dynasty was established, there were Maitrakas in the western region. In the eastern part, there were late Guptas. There were Mokharis as well as Pushyabhutis. So you have to remember all of this. So the Chalukya dynasty ruled large portion of southern and central India from the 6th to 12th centuries, leaving an indelible mark on the region's art, architecture, and culture. There were three Chalukya dynasties. First was Badami Chalukyas. They were the earliest Chalukya rulers, reigning from Badami, which is also known as Vatapi, situated in Karnataka, from the mid 6th century. Then there were Eastern Chalukyas. They emerged after the death of Pulkesin II, ruling from Vengi in the eastern Deccan until the 11th century. After that, there were Western Chalukyas. They were descendants of the Badami Chalukyas. They rose to power in the late 10th century from their capital at Kalyani. Now, the apex of Chalukya power came under Pulkesin II, but it was Pulkesin I who established the Badami Chalukya dynasty and the empire's capital at Vatapi, or known as Badami. So Pulkesin II was the greatest Chalukya ruler who expanded the empire across the Deccan. His territorial expansion, he followed an aggressive expansionist policy. Pulkesin II conquered the Kadambas, Ganges, Mauravas, Latas, Malavas, Gurjars, as well as the Chola, Chera, and Pandya kingdoms. Now you can understand the might of Pulkesin II and his famous battle with the Harsa, and how he conquered the Ganges. All of these showcase his military might as well as how able administrator he was. So there can be any question which can come from his time period. His contribution is art and architecture, literature, their contemporaries, all of these can be asked. Now they were great patrons of the art. In terms of architecture, they pioneered the Vesara or Deccan style, which takes a few elements of Nagara and few elements of Dravida. So in Nagara, we have a temple situated on upraised platform. In Nagara style, we do not have huge boundaries. We do not have large gopurams. There is absence of intricate carving in the outer walls. So which all are there in Dravida style. Now Vesara will take certain elements from the Nagara style and certain elements from the Dravida style. So it was a kind of hybrid style which was developed by Chalukyas. Sculpture also, there are magnificent cave temples with intricate carvings and beautiful mural paintings which were established during the time period of Chalukyas. In terms of literature, the Kannada and Telugu literature flourished along with Sanskrit, which was at that time period seen as language of elite. Everything flourished, and they were the great maritime power. They were a dominant naval force controlling trade routes across the Arabian Sea. If you see the map, they are controlling the Arabian Sea region. They are in the western coast. If you know the location, now for example, if there is a question that they controlled the trade routes across the Arabian Sea, if you are clear with map, you can easily solve this question. So knowing the map, knowing the time period is extremely important in solving questions of history. Another important point is that though they were Hindus, they were extremely cosmopolitan. uh, they were not trying to reduce any philosophy, any religion, whether it was Buddhism, whether it was Jainism. They were extremely tolerant. There are some iconic Chalukya temples like Ladkhan temple. It was one of the earliest Chalukya temple displaying the Vesara style. Second is Virupaksha temple. It is a magnificent Dravida style temple. It is also in the UNESCO World Heritage Site of Pattadakkal. The third one is Papanath temple, an exemplary Nagara style temple also located in Pattadakkal. You can see they are in some temple they are taking Dravida attributes more, or in some temple they are taking Nagara style more. You can see that it is the Papanath temple is situated on the upraised platform, okay, or following a kind of Panchayatan style. Panchayatan style is a feature of Nagara style, okay. Now, what is the legacy of Chalukya? The legacy is that they were a military might. They built a formidable army, especially under Pulkesin II. They were the great patron of literature, and architectural innovation can be also found, like Vesara style, a hybrid style, and they dominated the maritime region. So this is a brief idea about the Chalukyan dynasty, and this is enough to solve any question related to Chalukyas. Now, if they are cosmopolitan and if they are tolerant, naturally the social positioning during their kingdom will be better. So any kind of positive statements about the women or humble background people or untouchables or anything, there is a high chance that it will be correct. So you have to learn history in an analytical way, and in all these lectures I am trying to give that mindset so that you will be able to solve. Merely cramming will not give you good marks in history or good marks in prelims examination. So I hope this lecture was helpful for you. Take care, best wishes, keep learning. Hi friends, in this lecture we will study about Kadamba Dynasty. So Kadamba Dynasty was very much in news since last 2 years, and that is why UPSC can ask a question from this kingdom. That is why we are covering here. So who are Kadambas? The Kadambas were an ancient royal family in Karnataka whose reign extended from around 345 Common Era to 540 Common Era. They established their dominance in northern Karnataka and the Konkan region with Banavasi as their capital. What was their capital? Banavasi. Okay. Now we will study about foundation and expansion. So the foundation of Kadamba dynasty was done by Mayura Sharma. Okay. It was done around 345 CE. After that, they displayed aspiration for an empire through titles, marital alliance with powerful kingdoms like the Vakatakas and Guptas, and successful conflicts with neighboring powers such as Pallavas. Now you have to remember that they were trying to establish interlinkage with powerful kingdoms. Vakataka was one of the most powerful kingdom of that time, and Guptas are obviously powerful, and they were trying to expand by coming in conflict with the neighbors like Pallavas. They were coexisting with the Western Ganga dynasty, together marking the earliest native rule in the region. You have to remember that who all are contemporaries: Western Ganga, Guptas, Vakatakas, Pallavas. Now they also became vassals of large empires like the Chalukyas and Rashtrakutas for over 500 years, leading to the emergence of minor Kadamba dynasties in places like Goa, Halasi, Hangal. Okay. Now, what is their cultural and historical significance? So, one of the most prominent contribution of Kadamba dynasty is promoting the use of Kannada for administrative purposes, contributing significantly to the region's historical and linguistic development. So, their contribution is huge in development of Kannada language. Second, their era serves as crucial starting point in the study of Karnataka's development as a geopolitical entity, as well as Kannada as a significant regional language and cultural development of around the language as well. Now there are debates over their origin. Some say that they originated from Trilochana's Kadamba's emergence to Mayur Sharma's birth from Shiva and Bhudevi, and there are several debates about their caste and all. Now, what were the achievements and one of the most prominent rulers of Kadamba dynasty? So, Mayura Sharma's successor, like Kakustha Varma and Ravi Varma, they expanded the kingdom's influence through strategic alliances, marriages with powerful ruling families, as well as conflicts with neighboring powers like Pallavas. Okay, and a lot of areas of southern India was extended during the reign of Ravi Varma. Okay, and at that time, Kadamba kingdom reached its pinnacle. Okay, so all of these we had discussed. Mayur Sharma founded capital was Banavasi, and initial dominance was nearby northern Karnataka and the Konkan region. Okay, so and the legacy includes the language as well as the cultural development of Karnataka, and there are lots of debate about the origin of Kadamba dynasty as well. So all of these you have to remember that who were the contemporaries, who were the important kings, and what were the cultural significance. So anything, if it is written about the development of Karnataka culture or Kannada literature, language, and if some statement is framed by UPSC which is positively connoting about Kadamba dynasty, for all of these things mostly will be correct. Now that is why knowing the significance, knowing the a rough timeline, contemporaries is extremely important. So I hope this lecture was helpful. Take care. Best wishes. Hello everyone. In this video, we will discuss about the Mughal land revenue system and what were the changes that were brought by Akbar, or what legacy Akbar had taken from rulers like Sher Shah and other kings. So we will see all the nuances. What are the measurement units? How it is calculated? What is the Sala system? What was the role of Todarmal? Everything we will see, and this has been one of the most repeated theme in last 10-year previous year question that highlights the importance of this topic. So let's begin. Now, who led the foundation? So before Akbar, the Mughal dynasty was not established comprehensively. If you see, the Babur ruled for a few years, Humayun ruled for a few years, then he was beaten by Sher Shah Suri, and then again he came. So the foundation of Mughal Empire was firmly led by or structured by Akbar. So before him, there was a powerful ruler named Sher Shah Suri who created standardized and efficient system of land revenue and tax administration, which Akbar inherited. Now, how the land was measured? So there was first territorial division. Akbar divided his empire into 15 subas, 187 sarkars, and 3,367 mahals. So that allowed him to be precise in fiscal management and administration. So the biggest unit is Suba, uske niche 187 sarkars and 3,367 mahals, a 3-tier system. Now what was the unit? The unit was standardized and it was called as Ilahi Gaz, was designated as the standard unit of land measurement. It provided a consistent basis for revenue calculation. Even now, if you will see in, if you will go for registry, etc. in Delhi, you will see the use of Gaz. Okay. Now they also classified land. So Akbar adopted this system from Sher Shah Suri. So Sher Shah Suri has categorized land into 4 types. One was Polas, second was Parati, third was Chachar, and fourth was Banjar. So they just represent the fertility, the amount of fertility. So it is in decreasing order. Banjar will be the least fertile, है ना? Polaj will be the most fertile. Parti will be the land kept for few years, है ना? So this is a kind of classification based on fertility, and the land which will have more fertility, tax will be more, Okay, so the purpose of classification was this. Now we will read about the Dashala system. So the first component of the Dashala system was data collection. So Raja Todarmal, Akbar's finance minister, conducted a comprehensive survey of crop yields and prices over a 10-year period. Then the Dashala system used this data to determine the average produce and set the state's share at 1/3 of the average. Okay, 1/3 of the average. Now, this system is also known as Zabti system, aimed to ensure a fair and consistent approach to land revenue collection across the empire. It should not be a kind of ad hoc mechanism. In one suba you are taking 40%, in another suba you are taking 30%. One type of land will be collected similarly in all the empire. So there will be a kind of uniformity. Now, what is the legacy of Raja Todarmal? So he was Diwan in Gujarat. Akbar appointed Todarmal as Diwan in Gujarat, where he successfully implemented comprehensive land surveying and revenue assessment. Impressed by his work, Akbar promoted Todarmal to the position of Imperial Diwan, responsible for overseeing the revenue system across the entire empire. Third, Todarmal's expertise and the Dashala system he introduced earned him lasting fame and recognition as a pioneering figure in Mughal fiscal administration. He transformed the land administration how? Through territorial division, standardized measurement, comprehensive survey, and equitable taxation. And the legacy has been continued even now. The land measurement unit, the methodology. So that legacy can be even seen now. So that was the long-lasting impact of the land revenue administration, brought by initially Shershah Suri and further magnified or made better with the help of Raja Todarmal by Akbar. Okay, so this is all about land revenue system under Mughals, and you need to just remember all of these points, and if any question will come, I am sure you will be able to handle it. Thank you very much. Take care. Best wishes. Hi everyone. In this video we will read about Vijayanagara Empire. Vijayanagara Empire was a very prosperous and significant empire during the medieval period, and this has been one of the most important topic in UPSC prelims for last 10 years. If you see the last 10-year papers, you will find Vijayanagara Empire question in alternative years. So that is why it is very important. Now we will read about, first of all, the introduction about the Vijayanagara Empire, how the empire was established. Then we will read about the important kings, specifically Raja Krishnadev Raya. We will also then dwell upon the social and economic life as well as the administration of Vijayanagara Empire, then ending up with the cultural contribution, whether it is literature or architecture. So let's begin. Now, Vijayanagara Empire was further subdivided into various dynasties. So the first sub-dynasty in the Vijayanagara Empire was Sangama. The founders of the empire were Harihar I and Bukka. They belonged to the Sangama dynasty. It ruled from 1334 AD to 1485 AD. Now we will read about one of the most important king, Dev Raya II. So he assumed the title as Elephant Hunter and Dakshina Pathada Chakravarti. Okay, that shows his might. Territory was, he extended the empire from Gulbarga, which is in Karnataka, to Sri Lanka, and Telangana to Kerala. Okay. His commander was Lakkana Dandesha. Okay. Now we will read about Krishnadev Raya. He belonged to Tuluva dynasty. He assumed title or was known as Andhra Bhoja and Andhra Pitama because of his cultural contribution. Now the empire extended from river Krishna to river Kaveri, and from Arabian Sea to Bay of Bengal. So the north to south is Krishna to Kaveri, and the west to east expansion is Arabian Sea to Bay of Bengal. That he was not only a mighty king, but he was also a great patron of art. He was himself he himself wrote many of the books like Amukta Malyada and Jambavati Kalyanam, which are very important. His contribution in architecture is also immense. He built Hazara Ram and Vittal Swami temples. Now we will read about the administration during the Krishna Devaraya. So there was a system of Ashtadiggajas during Krishna Devaraya, and in Ashtadiggajas you would have read about the nine jewels of Akbar. So similar thing is Ashtadiggajas of Krishna Devaraya. Now we will the notable point is Krishna Devaraya came before Akbar. Okay, so this is not that he took that idea from Akbar. So Ashtadikkajas of Krishna Devaraya included people like scholars like Allasani Pedana. Allasani Pedana was the author of Manu Charitram, and he's known as Andhra Kavita Pitamah. That his stature is so high, you can understand from the title itself. Then Nandi Thimana was also there, okay, and others were like Dhurjati, you know, Ayyala Raju, Pingali, Surana, Tenali Rama. You must have read about him. Ramaraja Bhushana, okay. Now we will read the administrative structure of Vijayanagara Empire. So the king was at the top. The king had absolute authority in executive, judicial, legislative matters, and the succession was hereditary. The administrative units were Mandalam, below that Nadus, then Sthalas, and lowest unit was Gramas. The Mandaleshwar or Nayaka governed Mandalam with considerable autonomy. From here, the Nayaka system will evolve. Okay, and then some of them will become independent kings. And if you will go to Madurai and see the Meenakshi Devi temple that has been built by one of the Nayakas and also called as Nayaka architecture as well. They issued coins and imposed taxes. Then what was the income source? The income source was that land revenue, of course, for any of the empire, tributes, gifts, customs, and professional taxes. The army included cavalry, infantry, artillery, elephants, and Naikar system or Naikas polygars granted land. Land were known as Amaram. If you will see the Iktadari system, Ijardari system, Naika system, okay, all of these are kind of to rule a kind of a feudal lords who have considerable power, who have lands, they are collecting taxes from it. Okay, so this is a common thread. Now, what was the social life of Vijayanagara kingdom? We will talk about first religion. So Sangama rulers were chiefly Sevites. Virupaksha was their deity. Okay. In terms of economy, chief gold coin was known as Varaha, and exports included cotton, silk, spices. Imports included horses, pearls. Then in terms of shipbuilding, the art of shipbuilding had developed significantly during the Vijayanagara Empire. Now we will read about the position of women. The position of women was very high. Women occupied a high position and participated in political, social, and literary life. And women were even the warriors, even employed in the state services. They were even the wrestlers, and there was a promotion of widow remarriage. That shows that the position of women was considerably high. Now we will see the architecture of Vijayanagara Empire. So the peculiar attributes of Vijayanagara Empire is that they had Raya Gopurams, construction of tall Raya Gopurams or gateways. Okay, Kalyan Mandapam is a peculiar feature. Temples with Kalyan Mandapam and carved pillars were there, and stone chariot at Hampi is also one of the peculiar feature of the Vijayanagara Empire. So this is all about the Vijayanagara Empire that you need to remember. Okay, take care, best wishes. In this video, we will discuss all the important terminologies that UPSC has asked in civil services and various other examinations conducted by UPSC. So these are extremely important terminologies that one should remember. I have classified them in such a way that you can memorize them easily. Let's start. The first type of keyword that I will discuss is related to land grants and revenue system. So the first is Agrahara. Agrahara was the land granted to Brahmana, or sometimes also related to educational settlement. But for educational settlement, there is another keyword which UPSC has not asked, is Shala Bhoga. Shala Bhoga means the land which is given for the educational settlements. The second important term is Ikta. So the Ikta were a land distribution or revenue administrative system which was introduced during Delhi Sultanate, particularly by Iltutmish. And Iqtadari system has been one of the important topic for the prelims examination. The third important term is Kharaj. Kharaj means land revenue. The fourth important term is Moza. Moza means revenue collection unit in Pargana. You must have heard about Suba, Pargana. I had discussed them in the previous video, Mughal land revenue system. Do watch it, it is also very important. The fifth important term is Mira Sadar. The Mira Sadar was a designated revenue payer to state. The last important term is Milkiyat. Milkiyat means personal land of zamindars. Now I will discuss some of the important keywords which were related to religion and philosophical concepts. First, we will see important keywords related to Buddhism. So the first is Avadana or Apadana. So Avadana Apadana means Buddha's explanation of person's worthy deeds in previous life. Second is Maitreya. Maitreya is known as future Buddha, which is yet to incarnate and holds water philel. The other terms which is used in Hinduism for the future Lord Vishnu is Kalki, and in Islam it is Mahdi. Okay, so there are parallel keywords related to other religion as well, may be asked by UPSC. They can ask it. The another important keyword is Nirvana. Nirvana means extinction of flame of desire, because according to Buddha, desire is root cause of all the sorrows. The next important keyword is Paramitas. Paramitas means perfection whose attainments led to the Bodhisattva path. Bodhisattva were whom? They who can attain salvation and can leave this world, but they are delaying it for the benefit of others. Okay. The next important keyword is Therigatha. Therigatha means songs, short poems collected by theories. The next is Theri. Theri means elder nuns or respected women in Buddhism. Now we will see important terms or phrases in Hinduism. The first important phrase is Aham Brahmasmi. You must have heard with respect to Adi Shankaracharya, but this has been taken from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Next important keyword is Dharma and Rita. Dharma means duty, and duty किसके according करना है? According to Rita. Rita is a natural order which regulates the operation of cosmos or universe. There is a phrase which says Kosh Mulo Dand, means treasury is backbone of administration, and it has been taken from Kautilya's Arthashastra. Now we will see important keywords related to Jainism. The first is Parivarjaka. Parivarjaka means homeless wanderer. Okay. The second is Sadhai Sadhvi, means Jain male and female monk. Sadhai and Sadhvi. Okay. Another important keyword is Shadvad or Anekantvad. I had explained this in greater detail in Jainism related video which you can watch. That means that truth is not something which is fixed. Truth can have multiple ways, multiple dimensions. That is all about Anekantavada. Okay. The last important keyword is Yapaniya. So Yapaniya is a sect of Jainism, and it is part of Digambara, but also follows some practices of Sweta Bara. Okay. Now we will see some of the important keywords related to administrative and governance The first is Ahadis. Ahadis were gentlemen or troopers collected or recruited by the Mughal emperor and paid higher salaries than other troopers. The second is Akhbarat e Darbare Mullah. Okay, so that means news from the exalted court. The third important keyword is Bandagane Khas. That means royal slaves. The fourth one is Fauzdars. The Fauzdar means commandants. The next one is Khilat. Khilat means rob of honor. Sixth term is Khulae Daran. Khulae Daran means Sayyid used to wear a cap. Cap को क्या बोलते हैं? खुला. खुलाए दारन. The next important keyword is Qazi. Qazi means judicial officers. Next one is very important. Wakia Navis. Wakia Navis means court writer who recorded all applications and documents presented in court. The next keywords are related to trade, commerce, and economic activities. The first is Fanam. The Fanam means coins. Next one is Hundi. Hundi means a bill of exchange. The third one is Banjaras. The Banjaras were a community of traders. Next one is Gomastha. So Gomastha were a paid servant to supervise weavers, collected supplies, and examine quality of cloths. The next one is Manigramam and Nanadesi. Manigramam and Nanadesis were guilds of South India. The last one is Vanik. Vanik means traders. Now you will see keywords related to land tenure and agriculture. Okay. The first one is Araghatta. So Araghatta were water wheels used in land irrigation. The next is Agrarikas. Agrarikas means looked after the land given in charity. Okay. The next is Bhatta Virutti. Bhatta Virutti is area donated to Brahmana for educational reasons. We had seen the Brahmadeya as well as Shalabhoga in the previous slide. The next one is Chaturvedi Mangalam. Chaturvedi Mangalam means Brahmanas with irrigation facility by kings. The next one is Iripati. Iripati means tank lands or land donated by individuals, the revenue from which was set apart for maintenance of the village tank. The next is Khunkati. Khunkati means a joint holding of land by tribal lineage. It was particularly found in Munda tribes. The next one is Nunsai. Nunsai means wet fields. Then is a Pahi Khasta and Khud Khasta. So Pahi Khasta and Khud Khasta means non-residents. Pahi Khasta means Khud Khasta means resident cultivators. जो रह रहे हैं वो क्या होंगे? खुद खास्ता. जो बाहर रह रहे हैं बट कल्टीवेशन हो रहा है वो नॉन रेजिडेंट्स है, जिनको हम पाही कास्ता बोलते हैं. देन कम्स पुंसाई. पुंसाई मीन्स ड्राई फील्ड्स. टोटाकल. द नेक्स्ट वन इज टोटाकल. टोटाकल मीन्स गार्डन्स, लैंड्स. The last one is Upari. Upari means category of tenancy or tenure during Maratha rules. So these are one of the most important keywords. I will also discuss some of the ancient places names also in this video itself. And they are very important. You have to memorize them. The first one is Bhilsa. So Bhilsa means Bhilsa was the ancient name of Vidisha. Vidisha is in Madhya Pradesh. The second is Dhanya Kataka. Dhanya Kataka was ancient name of Amravati. Then Damine Ho. Damine Ho was a land of Santhals, also means skirts of hills. Okay. Sohagura inscription. It is oldest copper inscription of Mauryas, or a pre-Asokan inscription that deals in that talks about famines, famine relief efforts. So Sohagura inscription is extremely important. Then Tambavati. Tambavati is ancient name of Ahar, Rajasthan. The last one is Uttara Merur inscription, and it is related to Cholas, dedicated to local self-governance. Okay. So this was the lecture, and I hope this will be helpful for you. This is bare minimum. This you should revise again and again. This will come in option. Either it will be asked in question. Anyhow, these will be extremely important for the examination. Take care. Best wishes. In this video, we will discuss important medieval Indian kingdoms. They are extremely important for Prelims 2024. They were constantly in news, and that is why I am covering them in a very brief manner, covering all the important points. It will take hardly 10 minutes, but it will cover everything which can be asked in the examination. The first is the Chamhans of Ajmer. It was in very much news because of the movies etc. that were made on Prithviraj Chauhan, and it was constantly in newspaper etc. So let's study about the Chamhans of Ajmer. The Chamhans or Chauhans of Ajmer ruled over southeastern Rajasthan with their capital city in Ajmer. They followed the Shakambari cult, and their dynasty was founded by Vishaladev. His nephew Rai Pithoda or Prithviraj is also known as Rai Pithoda, was the most famous ruler of this dynasty. If you will come to Delhi, or if you are living in Delhi, you can see Kila Rai Pithoda. It is in South Delhi. Okay, the fort of Prithviraj. So how Prithviraj rose to prominence? Prithviraj married Samyukta, daughter of Jayachandra, his arch rival. Jayachandra invited Muhammad Ghori to invade India and defeat Prithviraj Chauhan. In 1191 AD, Prithviraj Chauhan defeated Muhammad Ghori in the first battle of Tarain, or which is also known as Thaneshwar. But in 1192, Muhammad Ghori made a fresh attack and defeated Prithviraj in the second battle of Tarain. In 1193, Jayachandra was killed by Ghori. With the death of Prithviraj, the son of Rajput glory set forever in that region, and also throughout the India there was establishment of Delhi Sultanate, and then slowly Mughal Empire came, and during Aurangzeb it was occupying almost 60-70% of the India. The military conquest of Prithviraj have been described in the long epic poem Prithviraj Raso, which was composed by Chand Bardai. Now let's see another very important dynasty, the Kakatiyas of Warangal. The Kakatiya dynasty ruled most of the eastern Deccan region, comprising present-day Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, parts of eastern Karnataka, and southern Odisha between the 12th and 14th centuries. Their capital was Orugala, known as Warangal, present-day Warangal. Let's see their political history. Early Kakatiya rulers served as fiduciaries to the Rashtrakutas and Western Chalukyas before assuming sovereignty under Prataparudra I in 1163 CE. Rudrama Devi succeeded Ganpati Deva and was noted by Marco Polo during his visit to India around 1289 and 1293. This is an important thing which you have to remember, that Marco Polo visited, and he noted about Rudrama Devi, and she is a very important queen. Okay, she was not only a queen, she ruled the dynasty. So it is a very important fact. Ganpati Deva was significantly expanding the Kakatiya lands during the 1230s and brought under their control the Telugu speaking lowland deltas areas around the Godavari and Krishna. Now what happens is Alauddin Khalji is becoming powerful, and he invaded the Kakatiya kingdom in 1303 AD, leading to their decline. In 1323, Prince Jona Khan, is also known as Muhammad bin Tughlaq, defeated Prataparudra Deva and annexed their kingdom. However, what is more important is their cultural achievement. So Sanskrit and Telugu literature flourished during this period with works like Gita Ratnavali, Nritya Ratnavali, Vadya Ratnavali, Jayapa Senani, Andhra Natyam and Perini Sivantadavam were classical dances form of this period. The Kakatiya followed the Trikuta model in their temple construction, with temples for Shiva, Vishnu and Surya built in a triangular way. It is an important fact. Notable architectural achievements included the Pakhal Lake in Warangal, the 1,000-pillar temple, the iconic Kakatiya Thoranam, and the Ramappa temple, which is extremely important. Their legacy is that the Kohinoor diamond, now among the jewels set in the British crown, was mined and first owned by the Kakatiya dynasty, showcasing their wealth and influence. Now we will see another important Sultanate, the Gujarat Sultanate. So Gujarat was one of the richest provinces of Delhi Sultanate, known for its fertile soil, handicrafts, and seaports for trade. After Timur's invasion, Gujarat became a de facto independent sultanate under the Muzaffarid dynasty. So there are two important kings of Gujarat Sultanate. One is Ahmad Shah I, who ruled from 1411 to 1441. He brought the nobility under control, settled the administration, and expanded and consolidated the kingdom. He shifted the capital from Patan to the new city of Ahmedabad, and imposed the jizya tax on Hindus for the first time in Gujarat. Okay. Second is Mahmud Begraha. He ruled from 1459 to 1511. The most famous ruler of Gujarat. He captured the forts of Girnar, Champaner, sacked Dwarka, and led an expedition against the Portuguese, who were interfering with Gujarat's trade with West Asia. The Battle of Diu in 1509 saw the Portuguese navy emerge victorious against a coalition force. That was the watershed movement. Now we will see the Malwa Sultanate. So the Malwa Sultanate was centered around the rivers Narmada and Tapi, serving as a buffer between Gujarat, the Bahmanis, and the Lodi Sultanate of Delhi. It was founded in 1392 when Dilawar Khan Gauri threw off his allegiance to Delhi and became independent. So the first ruler was Hushang Shah. Reign was 1406 to 1435. His achievement was he patronized the Jains, allowed construction of temples, fought with Muzaffar Shah of Gujarat. Second is Mahmud Khalji. He ruled from 1436 to 1469. His achievements were he fought with almost all the neighbors, including the Bahmani Sultans, Gujrats, Gondwana, Odisha, and Delhi. Erected a 7-storied column at Mandu. Third important ruler is Baj Bahadur. He ruled from 1551 to 1561. He was the last Sultan of Malwa, famous for his association with Queen Rupamati, defeated by Akbar's army in the Battle of Sarangpur in 1561. Okay, and last kingdom which we will see is the kingdom of Mewar. Okay, with the conquest of Ranthambore by Alauddin Khalji, the power of the Chauhans in Rajputana came to an end in the 14th century. In 1335 CE, Rana Hammira established the second Guhila dynasty of Chittor, starting the Sisodia clan of Mewar. Two very important kings of Mewar kingdom is Rana Kumbha, 1433 to 1468 he ruled. He made the kingdom of Mewar very powerful, conquering states like Bundi, Kota, and Dungarpur. He constructed the Vijayastambh at Chittorgarh to commemorate his victory over the combined armies of Malwa and Gujarat. Rana Sanga is the most popular and most powerful leader of Mewar. He ruled from 1508 to 1528, the grandson of Rana Kumbha. He established his supremacy over almost all Rajput states in Rajasthan. He defeated Ibrahim Lodi in the Battle of Khatoli in 1518 and fought against Babar in the Battle of Khanwa in 1527 and the Battle of Chanderi in 1528. He fought very bravely, and because of that Rana Sanga is very famous for his valor, for his bravery. When every other king was falling in front of Mughals, he stood tall and tried to fight. So these all were very important kingdoms, and UPS is asking a lot of questions from these kingdoms, and there is a probability that they will ask another question, because in the past few years we are seeing that all these small kingdoms, not in terms of might but in terms of the region they are ruling, are becoming more and more important. Thus this video will help you to handle all these questions. Thank you very much. Take care. Best wishes.